What if a diagnosis wasn't a destiny? What if it was just a starting point? Today, we're going to dive into this incredible story about how one mother's choice, plus some amazing technology, is totally changing how we think about potential. It's revolutionizing education for a whole new generation. Okay, so it all starts with this mother, Nausheen Galaria, and her baby boy, Aman. Now, when Aman was only 6 weeks old, he got a diagnosis, a severe eye condition that meant he would be legally blind. I mean, that's a moment that could have just defined his entire life by its limits, right? But it didn't. Instead of just accepting the path that was laid out for him, Nausheen made this really pivotal choice. And in her own words, you can see it right here, she channeled her fear into a powerful drive to help him excel. She just flat out refused to let a diagnosis define her son's destiny. So, what was this path of limitation she was so determined to reject? Well, the standard advice was pretty clear. Enroll Aman in a specialized school for the blind, make him focus on learning Braille, and then, maybe wait until he's a teenager to introduce any kind of assistive technology. But that just didn't sit right with her at all. It felt like this slow, dependent journey. Think about it. She would have to wait for specialized teachers to learn things before she could even start teaching her own son. She just knew there had to be a better way, a more direct path to his independence. And that search, well, it led her to this really profound shift in thinking. And this is where the story gets bigger than just one family. It's about changing the entire conversation, moving away from a model that's all about deficits to one that actually celebrates diversity. And this right here, this is the paradigm shift we're talking about. I mean, look at the difference. The old way, it was all about labels, special schools, segregation. Really, it was about focusing on what a person can't do. But this new approach, it just flips that whole idea on its head. We're talking about seeing a different ability, using tech to bring kids into mainstream schools, and really valuing all the different ways people can find success. So here's the crucial point. Different ability reframes the whole concept. The idea is that these challenges aren't deficits at all. They're just different ways of learning, of achieving, and of interacting with the world. Different doesn't mean worse. It just means different. This quote from Amma Chopra really just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It's such a simple question, but it's so powerful. It makes you challenge the very language we all use. Why are we so focused on the dis when the ability is sitting right there, plain as day? Of course, a change in philosophy is one thing, but making it a reality, that requires tools. So let's take a look at the visionary innovators who actually built the technology that makes all of this possible. First up is the lead professor V.K. Damodaran. He was this brilliant energy scientist and an incredible institution builder, and he was a passionate advocate for something he called eyes-free science. He had this rock-solid belief that physical limitations should never, ever be a barrier to scientific curiosity and exploration. And this quote just illustrates his philosophy perfectly. He argued for the power of getting in there early, for inclusive education from day one. He believed in empowering children right from the start, instead of trying to fix a broken system way down the line. The other key figure here is Dr. T.V. Raman, a distinguished computer scientist at Google. Now, as a blind person himself, his own life experience became the driving force behind his work. He's often called the father of modern digital accessibility because he creates tools that don't just help people get by, they truly empower them. And his innovations? They are absolute game changers. I'm talking about things like Emacs Speak, which basically turns a whole computer into an audio interface, or ChromeVox, the screen reader that's built right into Chrome. His work is the reason a smartphone or a laptop can become this gateway to learning for absolutely everyone. He makes the digital world navigable through sound. It's incredible. So now we have the philosophy and we have the tools. Let's go back to Aman's story and see the incredible results when you put them both together. This is where it all really comes to life. And it all started when he was just 4 years old. Can you imagine? Instead of waiting until his teens, Aman was given access to this transformative technology as a little kid. And that early start, well, that was the key that unlocked everything. His mother guided him on this clear, really logical path to becoming self-sufficient. It started with a foundational skill, touch typing. Then came mastering the software, the screen readers, and shortcut keys that make the computer talk. And finally, from there, he achieved true independence across all his devices. The results were immediate, and they were staggering. Aman wasn't just, participating in a mainstream school. He was absolutely excelling. He was taking his tests on his laptop completely independently without needing someone to write for him, and he was consistently scoring 100%. He was competing on a completely level playing field. And from there, his achievements they just kept piling up. Seriously, check this out. A national record for typing, winning competitions in everything from storytelling to science, reciting 200 digits of pi from memory. The list is just wild. Every single one of these awards wasn't just a win for him. It was this huge statement that ability, real ability, has nothing to do with sight. And then, at just 6 years old, his journey came full circle. After delivering a flawless 10-minute speech to graduating 12th graders, he set a world record as the youngest motivational speaker. The little boy who was once put on a path of limitation was now the one inspiring others. It's just amazing. So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? Why does Aman's story and this huge shift in thinking, why does it matter for every single one of us? Well, it really comes down to this powerful idea. The real disabilities aren't in people. They're in our systems. They are the physical barriers, the digital barriers, and maybe most importantly, the attitudinal barriers. When we actively work to tear those down, we don't just help a few people. We unlock a world of human potential that, honestly, benefits all of us. So all of this leaves us with one last, and I think really important question to chew on. We tend to think of independence as something you earn, right? Like it's a privilege for the lucky few. But what if we completely rewired our thinking? What if we designed our world, our schools, our tech, with the core belief that independence is a fundamental right for every single person? Just imagine what that world could look like.
Thanks to Google NotebookLM for the January 2026 Diversity Magazine edition. Download your free copies now from https://differentlyabled.in.